Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, and if you've been watching the Raglan videos you'll know that I got a lathe all installed, cosmetically refurbished, painted it, greased everything up and everything, and it's working great. The only problem being the compound feed screw was a little bit gritty, so I tried to mend the problem by replacing a brass bush in the top hat housing, but got a bit overzealous with the hammer and the punch and ended up snapping that in half. I welded it back together again, reinstalled it with a new bush, and it worked a little bit better. But what the real problem is, at some point in the past a previous owner has done away with the woodruff key. I don't know why, maybe lost it, and just drilled a hole straight through and put a dowel in. Well, that's no good, because you do take some of the backlash out. No, that's another one of its problems. It's got about 50 thou of backlash on the compound. So I'll try and demonstrate that. Yeah, that's about 50 thou of backlash. I'm going to make a new one. That's what I've started doing here. I've started machining down the feed screw. All my dimensions are there, so I'm going to make a new feed screw, and then I have tried to the one that's in the lathe now is a square cut thread, so I'm going to switch it to an acme thread. I did try cutting a thread on the lathe, with it being 1/2 inch 500 thou. I don't have a moving steady for the compound or the apron, so it was deflecting. It wasn't cutting a good thread. So what I'm going to do, guys, in this video is I'm going to machine this down, and then I've purchased a 1/2 inch 10 TPI tap and die, and we're going to cut the thread with a die, and then the brass nut in here I'll make that with a tap. So get this trimmed down to size now, guys, and then we'll have to, I haven't got what they call them, die holder for the tailstock, but my dad, he's made one for his lathe. So what we'll do, trim this down to size and then use the die holder. So I'll get on with this, guys, and then show you the rest of the process. Alright guys, so we've got, this will be the acme thread, 500 thou or 1/2 inch. There's a flange there what butts up against the brass bush, and then that is the axle for the hand wheel and the vernier, and then a thread on the end to lock it all together and take the slop out of the, or take a bit of the backlash out of the thread, I think. So I'm going to machine the flange in now, and then cut the rest of the thread down to 500 thou. Alright guys, that's 500 thou, and I need 450 on the axle for the hand wheel and the vernier, so I'll leave that as 500 so I can put it in the lathe, grip that in the lathe and send it down into the die, which will be in the die holder or the tailstock. And then once I've finished cutting the thread, I'll take that extra 50 thou off. So that's that end finished now. Just got to finish this flange off here with the pattern off tool, give myself a bit of room to get the turning tool in, and then I can take this down to 500 thou, which will be the external diameter of the acme thread, 10 TPI. So we'll get on with that now. Alright guys, that's that down to 500 thou. That's ready for the thread die, so that's not arrived yet, but when it does get here, I'll cut a thread on that. Then it's a matter of getting some dims of that brass nut inside there and machining one of them. Alright guys, the die's turned up, and we'll get on with cutting this thread now. I think I'm getting the hang of this hobby machinist malarkey. So basically what it is, in a nutshell, you buy an old machine or a boat anchor, and invariably it needs loads of work doing to it. So then you gradually work your way through all its problems, in the process learning how to machine and all the different things that are associated with machining. Then once you've refurbished, rebuilt, repaired the lathe, you either sell it, get another machine, or build a steam engine. That's hobby machining in a nutshell. Anyhow, back to the point. Bit of a tangent there guys. I've got to part this feed screw off now. Final job will be to make the brass nut in here. I'm just going to make it out of some 25mm brass bar, because even though it's probably made out of a bit of square bar to start with, I don't have any square bar, and it costs an absolute fortune, this stuff. Alright guys, I've managed to knock together a new top hat housing. So that was the old one, which I broke. And then, since found out that, yeah, tolerances weren't great in that. It were all badly bent out of shape, that. So, I made a new one. And, well, that's the new acme thread on the feed screw. So we'll get all this back together again and see how it looks. That's the new brass nut and acme thread in there. Tighten them jibs up. Alright guys, that's a major improvement. So if you remember, the old axle was bent, so this was wobbling, and there was also 50 thou of backlash. So we'll see where we are for backlash now, and we're about 10 to about 14 thou backlash now guys, which is a massive improvement on the old feed screw and nut. So I'm calling that a success guys, and that's a cheeky little hack, tap and die. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next one.